After the genetically enhanced spiders bit me and Peter Parker along with Ned Leeds and Michelle Jones, something interesting happened. Not only did we gain Spider-Man powers, but we also got symbiotes. I got Miles Morales Spider-Man powers and the Venom symbiote, and Venom started talking in my mind and I said, nice to meet you Venom, I am Anos Voldigoad and now you and I, we are Venom, we are compatible my friend and together we will achieve great things. And Venom said, I love the sound of that. And then I said, good, then we are in agreement. And then I snapped my fingers and I made it so Venom doesn't have to feed on brains or chocolate anymore. And then Venom said, I feel different, I don't feel hungry anymore. And then I said, now eating brains for you is optional. And then I started to feel a little woozy and so did my friends and I said, let's go home guys. And then I went with Peter Parker to his Aunt May's apartment and then Venom said, sleep my friend, and I said, see you soon Venom. And then when I woke up I had become an apex predator, and then when I turned invisible Venom said, holy shit, you turned invisible, I can't see our hands. And Venom said, okay, turn back. And then I said, wait a minute. And then I showed Venom my supervision and he said, what the hell are you? By the way, I'm feeding on your body and I'm not hurting you much at all, it's like you're truly immortal. And then I said, you picked the strongest host Venom, this time things are different. I am Anos Voldigoad, the demon god of tyranny, I am the strongest, I'm also a powerful omega level mutant with omnipotent powers. And then I showed Venom my legendary sword Venuzdanoa and Venom said, holy shit, that's an impressive sword, you know what, you remind me of my father Null and I think you can definitely kill him with that sword. And I said, I don't think I can kill your father Null. Venom, I know I can, and we will deal with Null later because I will kill him myself and I'm hoping you will help me do it my friend. And then Venom said, I'm not suicidal, but I believe you really have a chance against Null, he's powerful but you may have to fight him alone James. And then I said, I'm okay with that, anytime you want to leave you can Venom, I'm not forcing you to do anything you don't want to do, I only ask that you do the same thing for me, deal? And then Venom said, we have a deal. And I said, I'm glad we understand each other. And I said, you're right Venom, I am truly immortal. And then Venom said, I knew, that's why your body constantly regenerate. And then I said, you don't need to feed on anyone anymore, I said to Venom. Then he said, I know, but it's a bad habit and it's hard to break. And then I said, well, try to break your bad habit please, because I can literally feel you eating my organs. And then Venom said, I'm going to need some time to adjust, I've never been this powerful before. And then I said, maybe you can make metal weapons now, just try my friend, I said to Venom. And then he said, damn it, I'm not very good at making metal weapons. And then I start with something simple Venom, like a knife or a sword. And then I said, I will try. And then Venom created a huge claymore great sword. And then I said, cool, now that's what I'm talking about, you did it, it's not as difficult as you think. And then I said, next time we will try to make something complex like a gun or even a fully automatic machine gun, we can do it. And then I said, now let's make me a black Spider-Man suit. And then Venom turned into himself. And then I said, that's good, it's a great look. And then Venom said, thank you. And then I said, but hear me out, it will scare people Venom, you need something more practical, just a one black suit with a mask, you know, like a superhero suit that I can breathe in and see out of, can you make one? And then Venom said, sure, I'll try. And then I said, thank you. And then Venom began shaping my black Spider-Man suit and now I looked like the black Spider-Man, the one that doesn't hold back. Unlike the original Spider-Man, I kill really evil criminals because I can read their minds, and like Tony Stark, I'm incredibly powerful and rich, except I have real superpowers. And Professor Xavier knew of my existence when I was born, he could sense that a powerful mutant had been born into the world and he made his mission to track me down and find me because he knows how special I am that not even his mind control can work on. And then I saw them at my school, Scott Summers and Wolverine. And then I said, I have to go guys, see you later. And then I said, I know who you are, Charles Xavier sent you, my name is James Sinclair, but I like to be called Anos Voldigoad. And then Logan said, you're pretty big and strong for a kid your age. And then I said, yes, well, you're a very old man James. Howlett is your real name by the way, and I can heal your body and your brain, but I'm not touching anything else but your head. And then Logan said, okay, so I would really like you to heal me if you can. Then I put the fear of God and humanity and I saved the mutants.